Thank you for giving up part of your Saturday to join us and for serving as a leader in District 6490. I'm Janet Ellis-Nelson, and I joined the Champaign Rotary Club in 2014 and served as club president last year. I've really enjoyed being a part of the new member orientation committee because I get to know each of the new members of our club very well. Katie?
Hello, I'm Katie Rife with the Bloomington Normal Sunrise Rotary Club. I've been in the club for 7 or 8 years, something like that, on the membership committee for 5. I will echo that with what Janet said. It's a nice way to, meet all the new people coming in. In my previous life, I ran a gym, so I felt like that was my skill set. I was trying to get new members to my gym, so I thought I could apply this to Rotary. So that's how I chose my position. I live, north of Bloomington in Secor, about halfway between Peoria and Bloomington. Work in the insurance world. Love my Rotary Club. I guess we'll just jump right in.
Sounds good. When Katie and I met to talk about new member orientation, we discovered that the way in which our clubs orient new members is actually very different. And we wanted you to know that it's important for you. It's important for you to know there isn't a right or wrong way to orient new members, but what is important is that each prospective member understands the expectations that your club has before they join, and that your new members feel welcome and are engaged as soon as they join. Katie and I plan to share the steps that our clubs go through with the materials we use to orient members, and these materials will later be posted on the district website. So probably like your clubs, Champaign Rotarians' first step is to invite prospective members to a meeting. If someone seems interested in our club, the first thing that we do is to give them this information sheet. It tells them many of the benefits, what they will gain from being a member of our club, and also very clearly spells out the expectations that we have for them. Once they become a new member, the president welcomes them at a club meeting, gives them their member badge and their Rotary pin, and also a copy of what we call is the wonderful world of Rotary. Katie, can you click share screen?
Yeah.
I clicked it, but then when I clicked on the wonderful world of Rotary, it did. Let's see. That's my problem, is when that particular one, I won't be able to show it to you, but it will be posted on the website. And this manual was created by our first female president of Champaign Rotary, Jan Barr, when she was president, and we update it every year. It has a welcome letter from the president, general information about Rotary and the 5 avenues of service, all of our committees, how we get our money and where we give money. And it also includes the hierarchy of Rotary. We also give our new members a few minutes during the club meeting to introduce themselves to the club. The next thing that happens is that I'm finding out what is happening is that it's not showing up there. Do you see it now?
Oh, there you go. Yeah.
Okay. Okay. I emailed this member bio sheet to our new members, and I use this and their membership application to create a written bio and ask them for a picture or get it from DACDB. And then we put their bio in our next newsletter. And also, if they are willing, we also put it on Facebook to welcome our new members to the club. We also pair our new members with a mentor. Sometimes it is their sponsor, but often it can be someone else from the club. And we have the mentors invite them to a social, to participate in a service project, to be a helper at club meetings. That's one way that people get to know the new members, by serving as a greeter or introducing guests, things like that. And we also ask them, we actually give them a little bit of time, but then we have them decide which committees they would like to choose to serve on. We typically have a lot of people join our club each year. And we hold a new member orientation when we get 4 or 5 new members. We host an informal dinner at one of our homes, and 2 to 3 members of our new member orientation committee and the club president do the orientation. We used to use the wonderful World of Rotary to do the orientation, and we gave that to them at the end of the orientation. But during my year as club president, I attended a training that the zones 30 and 31 did, and discovered that some clubs use a PowerPoint presentation to introduce club members to their club and make it a two-way orientation. So let me see if I can share this with you. So this PowerPoint tells a lot of information about our club, but also inserted in the slideshow are questions so that it becomes a two-way orientation. And it's not just the veteran members of the club that are telling everything they know about Rotary. So a lot of information about Rotary. We have a picture of our district, of the zones. Then we have a lot of pictures so that they can see all the fun we have and discuss some of the service projects we do every year, as well as different avenues of service, ways that they can learn through Rotary. So it really tells our story, I think, pretty well. And again, we insert questions to find out more about the people and how they would like to participate in our club. Another thing that I changed about our new member orientation was the committee. In the past, it was done by past presidents and past district governors, who frankly were all older and white. And as our club demographics changed, I felt that our new member orientation committee should reflect our new membership. So we added some women, we added people of color, we added younger members. And so the people that have participated in these dinners bond with each other, have felt very welcome, and everybody's still in our club since last year when I was president. So Katie, go ahead. Why don't you share what your club does?
Yeah, I'd be glad to. I will just say too that I have learned a lot from what you guys are doing in Champaign and plan to use a lot of it myself. So very exciting stuff. I love that these sessions can be interactive. So I'll just keep mine real brief and we can talk about what you guys are doing and maybe have some Q&A. So starts out right. So you get a new member to the club. Somebody from the membership committee is going to go get their contact information. We're going to send them a very lengthy email. It's probably going to overwhelm them a little bit, but the idea is to give them as much information as possible right out of the gate. So after their 3 visits, we do our orientations while they're sitting out, right? So while the board is reviewing their application. have, I've got 10 people on my membership committee, so we kind of just divvy it up. But this, let me share my screen. I'll show you what our, we have a checklist for our new member orientations. So it just kind of outlines what the expectations are, like Janet mentioned. I think that's important, you know, what attendance expectations there are, you know, foundation giving, you know, that we put their dues on an automatic withdrawal. They're expected to participate in our annual fundraiser, probably not altogether different from what you guys all do, but it just kind of checks the box. So if a different member from the committee gives the orientation, we know that all of these things are getting talked about. We talk about different ways to get involved. We do review, and I'll show you this in a minute, the different committees that are available. We require all of our new members to join a committee. We feel like it's a really good way to get them plugged into a smaller group. I think we're at like 130 members, and it can be kind of overwhelming. So to get them in a smaller group, I think is helpful. And then at that orientation, we don't always collect all these forms, but if we do, we make sure it's checked off. So when the board goes to vote, they know that we've got this stuff. So anyway, going through this, the one question on here, and we do try to keep it interactive, right? So it's probably a 30-minute meeting. We did a bunch on Zoom this year, but usually we'll go out to like coffee or something and just kind of talk about what the prospective member is, you know, what skills they bring to the club and what they're hoping to get out of Rotary. So we write that down. We do collect signatures. I think it's just kind of a good way to get the member a little bit more committed to the process, right? And to agree that they understand the expectations and the different ways to get involved. So that's what our checklist looks like for orientations. Then obviously induction happens, right? And then they're in the club. And one thing that I think we developed a few years ago is this sponsorship checklist, right? So the person that brings the new member to the club, we feel like they have a little bit of ownership in getting that new member acclimated and getting them involved and helping them through the process. So we send this out to people that bring new members to us. We don't collect it, but it's just kind of a guide, you know, to help them, you know, have they been to a happy hour? Have they been invited to one? Have they been to a service event? Are they on DAC-DB? You know, all these little things that we just try to remind the sponsor, you know, that they're helping their new member through the process. And then the last document I'll show you is this new member reference guide. They get that in that email that I mentioned. And it's a 4-page guide that just kind of gives them step by step. You know, like I said, it can be overwhelming. So just, this is what you need to do. This is what your induction is going to look like. These are the forms that we need from you. If you want to get plugged in right away, here are the websites. There's links to those. If you have trouble with DAC-DB and getting on there, here's the contact lady for that. Talking about different opportunities. And then in this guide, so like I said, we expect all of our people to join a committee. And so we talk about the different committees that are available, the contacts for them, and then the days and times that they meet. So at the end of this, we just kind of mention the avenues of service, our areas of focus, and then we finish it up with our 4-way test. So I think I may have said it or not, but our motto is just to kind of give the new member as much information as possible, let them know what expectations are, and then just kind of let them, you know, ask questions and go from there. So we've got about 9 minutes left. So if you guys have questions, or if you want to share the way you guys do it, or I'll let you guys kind of jump in.
Did you guys say this will be posted somewhere that we can see all your information?
Yes, it will. I think that it will be on the district website, but I'm sure Jane Chamberlain will send out an email telling you where to find it. And I will tell you that the copy of The Wonderful World of Rotary, if you're interested in that, it is a PDF, but I can send you one that's not, if you decide you want to use that. So you can change, you can edit it, and the rest of the documents are not PDFs, so you could just alter them and use them if you would like.
Okay. I really appreciate your guys' presentation. I think it's all great information. It's stuff I think I wish I would have had when I was a new member because I was a little overwhelmed.
Mhm. So
That's
what,
funny that you say that, Melanie, because that's kind of how this all got developed for us. We had a handful of new people and we're talking about, okay, so what is it that you would have liked coming in as a new member? And that's how our process is developed.
well, and Katie and I are both from large clubs. So I was saying, maybe developing a PowerPoint is overkill. If you have a small club or you only have a few people join every year. We added 25 new members last year, and I think we've added 15 this year. So, we like to do ours in a group.
Yeah, and if you're bringing that many in, I guess doing it in a group does make sense. I mean, we are going to take some of your ideas and run with them. Something that we do for our new members too, that we just started doing quarterly about a year and a half ago. We used to do a new member like breakfast where we do some silly little game, 2 truths and a lie or something to try and get to know the new people. But we started doing that quarterly now, but I love the idea of the dinners. I think that's probably fun, especially doing it at your houses. I like that.
Right. And we've done a variety of things. We've had like sort of cocktail parties and desserts only and invited the spouses. But the dinner is kind of nice. And we try to limit it to about an hour and a half so that people aren't giving up too much of their time either. Any other questions?
Janet, this
I have a question for you. Oh, go ahead, Deborah.
Oh, I was just saying, this has been very helpful. You've given me some wonderful ideas, so thank you very much. And
yeah, you're welcome. I'd love to hear if you guys are, are you guys do you have a formal process or, is anybody using any sort of checklist or presentations for new members?
we haven't used either the checklist or we do have a dinner that we have done in the past, which we're hoping to get going on again. We've done things a little bit more Zoomishly, I guess, this year. But you have some ideas, and I love the idea of the booklets that I will be looking for those on the website because I think those will be very helpful. And I like the idea of being more involved in we've always had it just be a very tight little membership committee, and it really needs to be more extensive than that. So I love the information that you shared with us today. Thank you again.
That's great. And actually, Katie, I will be posting our sponsorship checklist also, but I prefer CU be in Sunrise's checklist because it's simpler. Ours looks pretty overwhelming, but I think it will be helpful. Either of those things might be helpful to make sure that people don't slip through the cracks.
Yeah, and in the past, when we didn't have a process in place, that happened. We would realize 3 or 4 months later that this new person we brought in hasn't been attending, and we would talk to them, and we would do like an exit type of interview usually. And the feedback that we got was that they just didn't feel like they belonged, or they didn't understand how to get involved, or it was overwhelming, things like that. So that's how what we're trying to avoid.
Right. Well, I think it's impressive that you have people come to several meetings and then sit out during the process. We don't do that at all. I mean, people can attend one meeting and decide they want to join. We tell them the expectations and give them an application. And in another 8 or 9 days, the process is over and they're a new member.
Well, I just kind of thought the way we did it was the way everybody did it. See, you don't know what you don't know. That isn't okay. I wonder why we do it that way.
And now we email the new members application to our membership committee chair. So the membership committee approves it first, then it goes to the board for approval. And then it's sent out to the whole club for a 7-day notice. And then after
Okay.
7 days, they can become a member. And everyone, I have to say, Katie is demonstrating service above all else today because she is there at a service project and just popped into the office so she could do this presentation.
Yeah, sorry, my dad, I don't think he even knows what Zoom is. So he's just like trying to talk to me.
Any other questions?
No,
Well, thanks again. Oh, go ahead, Robert.
Thank you. I'm with Sunset in Bloomington Normal. We're a club of about 20 years old. And so we bring in very few members a year. We do want a prospective person to attend several meetings first, because if it's just going to be, in a couple of months and find out it's not for them, we shouldn't go through the signing up. That's the way we feel. But we just started this last month revamping our education program. So I tell you, if we can get a hold of your material, there's a huge checklist for us there that we could choose from that would help us. So I hope we can get that. But this is really good.
Oh yeah,
really good session.
you betcha. No need to reinvent the wheel, right?
Yeah,
we'll share.
And I think that information sheet is so helpful because even though we don't go over it all with them, they can read it. And if they own a business, then it's really smart to join Rotary and have all of these people supporting you. Or if they work for a nonprofit, we give away a lot of money and volunteer for nonprofits. So it's really perfect for anyone in either of those situations. And I am in neither, and just the joy of meeting so many great people and getting to contribute to the community is, very worthwhile.
yeah.
Well, thank you all. We will have this posted and our documents posted sometime soon, or you can email us. I put Katie's email address and my email address in the chat, and we can send them to you.
Great.
Thank you.